Alrighty, guys, I had to restart my program there. Was having an issue with E-Trade Pro there. So we should be back up and running now. Let me just make sure. Alright, we're back up and running. We just had an issue with E-Trade Pro. It froze for me there. So watching SPY now. Here we go. I could finally do my charts here. Alrighty, watching SPY. I want to see if we're going to get up to that 345 and pull back, or if we're going to start to rebound for the rest of the day here. Couple things in the green here are AMD, APC, Bank of America is actually higher today. And that's about it so far. VIX is up about 7%. So now let me show you guys how trading small is a huge difference here. For the morning, only down about I'm down about $194 there. Now down only $150. So it's important to be trading small. Let's see what else is going on here. I want to find some good day trades today. Today we're going to be focusing in on some day trades. Let's see. Google just turned green. Let's see, link one. There goes Google taking off big time.
Company announcing earlier positive results for their Parkinson's.
I'm watching SPY over to the right. If you guys see me on camera, this is my SPY chart right here. Here is Diamond. Here's Q's. I'm also watching Intel up above there. And I'm watching Walmart, Apple. Did you guys hear the news about China? So I guess the United States agreed to sell weapons to Taiwan. And China considers Taiwan part of its territory. So China President Xi went to the Marines of China and said, prepare for war. That they don't agree with the U.S. selling weapons to Taiwan. So that's a pretty big deal we got to keep our eye on. The last thing I'd want to see is China and Russia to team up against us. That's my biggest fear. Tesla's coming back from the dead there. A nice comeback on Tesla. I like the looks of that.
Hello.
Not sure who that was. If you guys have questions, ask in the trade room. I'd be happy to answer. Here comes Tesla, candle above that 10. SPY 2, take a look at SPY. We'll see if it could hold up here. SPY is getting that first candle above the 10. We'll see if it's going to fail or head higher. Etsy, let's see what Etsy's doing. Etsy's only down about 1%. 3-month daily, it's looking like a nice climb off that 10 of Vilio. Are you in that? Did you get in that yesterday? Not bad ahead of the holiday, but if the general market pulls back, I'd stay away. Keep an eye on SPY. SPY's failing right now at that 10. Today, it's all about patience and discipline. When we get that signal, we can make some good day trades. Just be patient and be disciplined today. Very important. Don't jump into anything right now. You see the volatility in the markets. You see what's coming up here with the election. Diamond's starting to climb here. SPY's getting a little climb. Qs are doing the same thing. So what I like to do on days like this with this volatility, I like looking at those three ETFs, those three indexes, and see what are they doing. If they're all going to start to climb here, then we have a market rally from the lows. If we see that they're getting up to that 1020 and failing, and all of them are doing that, then that to me is telling me further selling pressure is going to be coming in the weeks to come here. So it's really important to watch the markets for this first half hour of the day here.
ATIF added getting up top here to the highs now.
Starting to climb off the lows here. SPY's at the highs of the day right now. Down about 0.96% for the day. Still down about 1%, which is a big pullback. But we are picking up from the lows, which is a nice sign. Just give it some time. Don't make any rash decisions.
ATIF.
Breaking news. Biden's campaign manager says Vice President nominee Kamala Harris, director, and non-staff flight crew members have tested positive for coronavirus. It's breaking news. Wonder what they got to say about that now. They were just talking on the debate. None of us got coronavirus because we're taking safety steps.
November 22.5 call sheet in India.
Still holding that 10, but as you can see, there's really nothing major happening yet. Still trading side by side. I do like how the 10 is coming up to that 20, though. Getting closer and closer to that crossover. Now, you see the histogram on the MACD. You notice how we have the first green bars on the histogram of the MACD. That's a good sign. But like I said, there's a lot going on in the market, a lot of news. So just be prepared. I think we're definitely going to have a nice setup for some good day trades today. So it's just going to be patience, discipline today, and wait for those good day trades. This is a minute chart. Yes, I just zoomed out a little bit here.
Report Harris says tested negative for COVID in 2 tests.
So what's nice about the minute chart, Avilio, I could just keep scrolling out with my mouse pad, and I could go back for days and see all these are just minute candles. It only lets you go back a certain time, though. I think it's like 5 days. Market's still climbing off the lows here. E-Trade is really slow today. I think Tesla is going to turn green today. Intel is getting that first candle up to that 20 SMA now. Intel's starting to break that 20 SMA. Q's ETF is starting to get that 10-20 cross. SPY is continuing to climb here. Coming off the lows. It was really nice being patient and disciplined there. John, you're probably looking at aftermarket hours there. John says he shows 10 SMA well above the 20 on SPY. Let me try that out again here. E-Trade's being screwy, but no, we didn't get that crossover yet. Are you on a today 1 minute chart, John? John, that's why you have the pre-market on there. What's that shaded area? Yeah, I think he has extended hours on overnight. Yeah, you have to take that off. If you take that off, then you'll see what I see. There we go. We're getting that first candle above the blue 20 SMA on SPY. Still climbing from those lows, which is really nice. Qs right now are failing at that 20. We'll see what they do here if they pick up. Dow Diamond ETF has got its first candle above the 20 SMA. If we take a look at Diamond and Qs here quick. Here's Diamond. Here are Qs. And guess what? We just got the 10-20 cross on Qs and on SPY. I'd be waiting for that break above 345 if I was going to do anything, but we're only about 20 minutes into the day. And with that move higher, we are only down 58 bucks now for the day. Not bad. Definitely want to focus on some day trades. GameStop's moving higher, guys. GME. GameStop's up 7% today. Do you guys see GameStop? Up almost 8%. 3-month daily chart. There she goes, taking off again. SPY's getting a nice climb. Diamond, Qs. Good morning, Yilmaz. Good morning, Paul S. on YouTube. Paul says Moderna's taking a hit. Let's take a look at Moderna. I would think Moderna is a good buy opportunity on that pullback, to be honest with you. Moderna is going to be one of the first ones with the vaccine out. Them and Pfizer. That pullback is going to be a nice opportunity to buy Moderna. And Avilio just announced Moderna is coming out with the earnings as well. And you know that CEO, he loves to pump his stock. If you search that CEO of Moderna, he's probably going to be pumping it on the earnings conference call there. So. And remember, Johnson & Johnson said they don't want to make any profit from their vaccine. Moderna is one company that said they want to profit off of this vaccine. So, you know, if they're one of the first out and people are flocking towards the Moderna vaccine, they're going to be making billions of dollars on that. Avilio said October 29th are Moderna's earnings.
YLA. relationship with American natural gas?
I see their earnings coming up for November 4th. But then again, my earnings on E-Trade have been screwy, so not sure. SPY is still continuing to climb here on a today 1 minute. And if you take a look at, let's take a look at Moderna here on a today 1 minute as well. Starting to get that 1020 cross. If that breaks above 75.50 on Moderna, I'd be looking to buy that. Take a look at SPY now. SPY's starting to climb here. Nice climb on SPY. Dow's only down 238 points now. NASDAQ's down 109. S&P's down about 28 points. So we're definitely picking up off these lows. And remember what I said this morning on SPY. Notice how we're getting a climb off that 10-day simple moving average down at the highs of the day. So we retraced down to that 10. Now it's important to just watch the market for the next half hour here. See if we're going to continue that breakout. Look at that big green candle on SPY. Big breakout on SPY. Nice climb here. Apple's back above 120. It's only down 79 cents now, 77 cents for the day. Let's see what Amazon's doing here. Amazon had a heck of a prime day from what I heard. Amazon's not doing too much, but this is one that you can make some quick gains on if this one starts to take off. SPY's still continuing to climb. Nice climb on SPY. We closed out our Amazon paycheck trade, Z. That was a paycheck trade. We closed that out for 100. And Ephraim, how much did we close that out for? There's no way Apple's going to 128 tomorrow. No. Hey guys, we got to tell Ephraim a big happy birthday. It's his 34th birthday today, so happy birthday, Ephraim. We closed out our Amazon trade for 154% gain. That was our paycheck trade. There goes the market's taking off here. Another big climb. Paul said silver futures just spiked. SLV's on the climb. Let's take a look at SLV. That is a trade that we made yesterday, which is a nice trade. That one's still continuing to break higher. Guys, SPY is still continuing to run. I want to focus on SPY here. We're happy to have you with us, Ephraim. Does an incredible job for us. Let's see, what else is moving here? Bank of America, Chipotle Mexican Grill is climbing. Look at that breakout on Chipotle. Stock's up 10 bucks here for the day. Let's take a look at the 3-month daily. Chipotle looks like that wants to head for highs. See, guys, now the one thing about Chipotle, if you guys are fundamental, traders, they have no debt. This is one company that has paid off all their debt. So that's why this is a $1,300 stock. Let's see. Karen Dechter says BBBY, Bed Bath & Beyond. Look at that breakout on BBBY. We were talking about that yesterday. Still continuing to climb. That's going to be a good one going into the holidays. That's a really nice setup there. Grant Goodlord says, can you look at Workhorse? Let's see. Workhorse not doing anything. Wouldn't go anywhere near that yet. That's an NTZ. No trade zone. If that crosses below that red 50 SMA, I'd be looking at some puts. Karen, did you get in Bed Bath & Beyond? I should have got into that one yesterday. I'm watching now for Tesla to start to climb here. I think Tesla's going to turn green by the end of today. Nvidia's only down about 0.8%. McDonald's is on the green. McDonald's is holding that 10-day simple moving average pretty well. I'd be looking for that next move higher on McDonald's soon. See, Tesla held that 450 really well. That's what I like about Tesla. It's holding that 450 support area pretty well. SPY, take a look at SPY here today, 1 minute. SPY is coming back down to that 10. Paul S. on YouTube says, what's your take on FSLY? I'll look at that in a second. Let me just see if SPY breaks below this 10 here. I want to watch this closely. Karen, what are you up on that Bed Bath & Beyond trade from yesterday? I'm curious to see what type of gain on that move. SPY looks like it's climbing off that 10. Down 22%.
WWR getting a spike in volume. Westwater Resources, Whiskey Romeo, WWR.
Big spike on WWR. There goes SPY taking off here again as well. SPY's having a big climb. Diamonds climbing. Qs are climbing. Market is climbing off those lows. Westwater Resources. I would set an alert for 650. If WWR breaks above 650, I'd look and trade that back up to 10 bucks. But SPY's getting a big climb here, guys. Take a look at SPY. We are almost in the green for the day here. Down 30 bucks for the day.
SRNA, Sorrento Therapeutics CEO will be on with Jim Cramer on Mad Money after the close today.
Regeneron's back in the green again as well. There goes SPY taking off. Diamond still climbing. Diamonds are climbing. Guys, Intel back up above 53. It broke up that 1020 SMA. Still climbing. I just want to keep an eye on SPY. I'm looking for that candle above that 50 SMA here. Let's see. Jeremy Weeby on YouTube says, what do you think about Under Armour? 11.20 strike price, 12.50. Let's take a look at UA. So he wants to pick up the 12.50 strike call on Under Armour for 11.20. Well, if you pick up the 12.50, I mean, look at where that thing has to go. Let's see when earnings are on Under Armour. I think they just had earnings, didn't they? Earnings are on November 2nd, so you have to keep that in mind. I wouldn't be making that trade until after earnings. Maybe on the 3rd I'd make that trade. Let's see what the implied move is for Under Armour there. They have a pretty big implied move. Take a look at this. Under Armour has an implied move from now until November 6th of 14.92%. From now until November 20th, a 19.89%. So if it's at 1090 now, 10.9, multiply that by 1.1989. That would bring shares up to about $13. So what is that 12.50 strike going for on YouTube? Let's see. Jeremy, what were you going to pay for that 12.50 strike? Because if it's any more than 25 cents, it wouldn't be worth doing that. Because if you're picking up let's say you pick up that 12.50 strike call for 50 cents, that means at $13 you break even. At $13.50 you make 100% return. If that implied move is only going to take it to $13, then that call would be a silly trade to make there. What I would be looking at is something like an in-the-money vertical spread if you're bullish on Under Armour. So take a look here. This is what I'd be doing on Under Armour if I were you. Or if I wanted to make a trade on Under Armour, I should say. Buy to open, sell to open, call. We'll look at the November 20th. Now the nice thing about this, you could pick up the, let's see what the 750 10 vertical spread's going for. This is going for $1.98 to be worth $2.50. 2.5, divide that by 1.98. It's not much, but it's a 26% return. And the stock could drop quite a bit there, and you'll still have a pretty decent profit there. So that, or what you could do is pick up something like the 10, 12, 50 vertical spread, but that's pushing it a little bit. That's only going for $1 to be worth $2.50, but that's a little too expensive for my taste. Yeah, he said that's going for 50 cents. So that means $13 your break even, $13.50, 100%. If it only has a 19% implied move from now to November 20th, that only brings shares up to $13.06, which means you'd make 6 cents or $6 per contract. And that's if it had that full implied move higher. Let's see SPY. Let's keep our eye on SPY. Dow's down 171 points. Nasdaq's down 122. S&P's down about 25 points. Guys on YouTube, if you're watching this video and you like this, please give it a thumbs up. Give it a like for us. I'd greatly appreciate that. Zoom is still on the run there. Zoom's going to be a nice one to trade again. Love to get in Zoom. What's Netflix doing here? Netflix not doing too much. Consolidation. Pulling back a bit from the highs this morning. Netflix was in the green by quite a bit this morning. I mean, that was up quite a bit. That's going to be a good one to watch. If we see that crossover on Netflix, that's going to be one we could definitely pick up a day trade on. I mean, Netflix was up above 551 this morning. She's at 539 right now. It's had many upgrades. It's good for going into, the pandemic here. It's one of those ones people like to buy, especially if there's a shutdown. Hey, put Zoom over here. Zoom is still on the climb.
Shares of NEO spiking here now, 28.21 on NEO.
NEO is spiking.
NIO, NEO.
Remember we were talking about NEO yesterday? That's going to continue that breakout there.
President Trump speaking on Fox Business.
President Trump is speaking right now. I'm going to see if I could listen in. Let's see. Is he on YouTube TV here? Let's see.
President Trump says he would raise the stimulus bill offer to more than $1 trillion.
I'm looking for Fox Business here on YouTube TV at the office.
Says he would agree to go higher than 1.8 trillion on coronavirus deal.
The Affordable Care Act, that is a smokescreen. She didn't invoke severability when she criticized C.J. Roberts for, as she put...
Here we go.
Back anyway. So, and we're going to take it from China. I'll tell you right now.
Look at NEO going.
Chance of getting a stimulus package before the election.
How would it work? If they are responsible for it, they've caused it, how will you get money out of them to compensate? Well, there's a lot of ways, okay? There's a lot of ways, and I'll figure every one of them out. I already have them figured out. We've taken billions and billions of dollars over the last couple of years to China. I gave $28 billion to the farmers because they were targeted by China. Put a lot of money into the treasury. And China paid for it. They devalued their currency. So a lot of people like to say, oh, but China didn't pay. Well, China did pay, actually. They devalued their currency and they pumped more money in. You sound what they did to us is not acceptable. And the world, not acceptable. You sound well and feisty. You feeling okay? I feel good. I went through the process. We got to do it. Do it right. Some things you have to do, and that's the way it is. And they ought to open up the states. That's the other thing with the Democrats. Maybe more important, open up the states. We're winning a lot of lawsuits about that. Michigan, she has to open up. She wants to be a dictator in Michigan.
Spies breaking down here, guys.
And they want to get back, and they want to get back to work. And so Michigan, we won. Pennsylvania, we won. You look at Pennsylvania, North Carolina's moving along. They got to open them up.
Nice job, Farmer Dave.
They're only doing it for politics. But the schools have to open, the businesses have to open. Despite that,
Mike, that's funny.
Now, we've been reporting this second wave in Europe, and it is quite dramatic. And they engaged in a new series of lockdowns in various countries, London, Paris, and France, and England, Northern, etc., etc. What happens if you get a big spike in cases in the United States? And cases are rising. What would you do?
Right. We're not doing any more lockdowns, and we're doing
Trump
fine.
says we're not doing any more lockdowns.
Florida, we had a spike, and the governor did a great job, DeSantis, and we had a spike in Arizona. The governor did a great job. Spike in Texas, they're down very low now. And we're not doing any shutdowns. No, we learned about the disease. Young people, 99.9%, right? They're in great shape, strong immune systems. The younger, the better. It's hard to believe, but like Barron, my son had it. It was like he had it, it was gone. It was. We said, wow, that was quick. You know,
He's now
they have
okay
good,
now.
strong immune systems. Say it.
Barron is okay now.
Barron's great. Yeah, he had it though. You know, we reported it the other day,
And the first
and
lady?
he went very quickly. He just, he's young and he's strong, and it's like different than if you're an older person and you weigh a little too much and you have bad hearts and bad other things. Diabetes is very bad. It sort of this horrible disease hits those people hard. I lost 5 friends, but we also now have the vaccines are coming out, but we have therapeutics. It's really amazing, actually.
Are you tested every day?
24% for
Say it.
FR6.
What?
Are you tested every day?
I'm tested, not every day, but I'm tested a lot. I was really tested a lot after I got rid of it because they wanted to make sure, and I was tested a lot. I said, how many tests do I have to take? But the doctors did a great job. Regeneron is a great company.
He's talking about Regeneron now.
I think it really helped me. I viewed it as a cure, not as a therapeutic. They call it a therapeutic. I think it was a cure. But
Regeneron's a cure, not a therapeutic.
better without something. I don't know. But
Let's see what Regeneron's doing.
I took it, and I think it was fantastic. The antibodies. So all I know is I was in, and I didn't exactly feel great. I haven't been sick in a long time. I didn't feel great, and within a day, I felt like Superman. I wanted to get out. So it was great.
You really want to open up the economy.
He felt like Superman.
Yeah, I do.
But the lockdowns are the result of state action. It will be the Democrat governors of California, New York, Illinois, New Jersey, Connecticut.
Well, they're doing it for political reasons.
Yeah, but
And there are places that have done badly. New York has been the worst in the whole country. 40,000 deaths. New York has done very badly. He's done a bad job, really bad job. Cuomo. Then he writes books like he's supposed to be doing a good job. We had more deaths. If you take New York and a couple of places, I mean, you look at our numbers, they're incredible.
Spy's starting to climb again.
New York app, we have numbers that nobody
First
can
candle at that 10. Diamond's starting to climb a little bit here again as well.
No, New York, what
At least he's being somewhat calm. He's not being in that attack mode.
Dead that shouldn't be. And I gave him a ship.
When he gets in that attack mode, that's when the markets usually pull back, but he's doing well so far.
Why don't you move people into the Javits Convention Center? He never did it. He just was incompetent. Something happened. They're incompetent. And they
Trump
didn't do
says
it. He
Regeneron
didn't know what he
is
was
a great
doing.
company.
And he wanted it so badly. He wanted the Javits Center. We went in, the Army Corps of Engineers to it, built it so well and so fast, and then he never used it. It's very sad.
Can I move on to Hunter Biden, Joe Biden? We've got this New York Post article yesterday linking Hunter Biden to Joe Biden to a Burisma official, and today you've got a link between the Bidens and China, alleging that the Bidens took millions from China, and yet the media is not covering this at all, and social media is blocking.
You got that right, Avilio.
Uh,
Cuomo did nothing about that.
And you cannot be.
Joe Biden is a totally corrupt politician. He has been all his life.
Sorry,
He has been all his life, Stuart. He's a corrupt politician.
Can you be sure that it's not a setup?
Oh, I don't know what setup there is. Look, they have the guy's laptop. Hey, Hunter was a disaster.
Spy's breaking down here.
Hunter got thrown out of the military. You know why he got thrown out, okay? He was thrown out of the military. Didn't have a job. Didn't have anything. His father becomes VP. And then Hunter starts making millions and millions of dollars a year. And the father gets some of that too, okay? You check him out. If he went through a Mueller investigation like I did, they would have found, how about me? I go through a Mueller investigation, $48 million, no collusion, no nothing. Put him through a Mueller investigation, they'd find it. In day one, 24 hours, they'd find out. Look at the way he lives, Joe Biden. And take a look at his brother. His brother building a development in Iraq. He never built
Zoom is at new highs again, breaking higher. I'm watching Zoom up above. Take a look at Zoom quick.
Joe Biden is a corrupt politician. I've been saying it for a long time, and everybody in Washington knows
Big breakout on Zoom. Spies have it a big candle higher here as well.
A17 at the New York Times, and they took a lot of the teeth out of it. A17.
Well,
This is a front page story. He's a corrupt politician.
He never lets them talk.
Press Secretary Kelly McInerney from tweeting
Look at Zoom go, nearing 530 a share now. Stock's up almost 4% for the day.
Facebook, Twitter, and Google. They'll be appearing before Congress on October the 28th, before the election. Are you going to press them to have...
Guys, there's breaking news. Kamala Harris is canceling her travel until October 18th. She's going into quarantine.
We are looking at a lot of things. Yeah, when they take down a Kayleigh McEnany, who's a...
SPY's breaking above that 50 SMA for the first time today. Take a look at SPY.
When they start doing that, when they don't want to put up the Biden story, when they write a story like in the Washington Post today, they wrote a story that Joe Biden, listen to this, that Joe Biden never said about the $1 billion. He's on tape saying it. I don't know who wrote that story. But he said, if you don't get rid of the prosecutor, you're not getting $1 million. He said it. He's on tape. And they're trying to say that he never said it. The whole thing is crazy. Okay?
You do
It's
notice
crazy.
that the Trump campaign Twitter account is locked as well.
Well, I haven't heard that, but if it is, it is. But it's going to all end up in a big lawsuit, and there are things that can happen that are very severe that I'd rather not see happen, but it's probably going to have to. It's out of control, and it's like a third arm, maybe a first arm, of the DNC. Twitter and Facebook, they're like really, it's a massive campaign contribution. This is a third arm of the DNC, the radical left movement.
Circulating.
And that's the biggest problem our country has. It's not with the right, it's with the left. The radical left is the biggest.
There goes SPY breaking out again.
That scum is the thing that's hurting our country. And not in Republican areas, by the way, with Republicans, but almost 25 out of 25 cities and states are run by radical left. Where they're run by radical left, those are your high crime. Whether it's New York, which has gone through the roof, the statistics that Cuomo is doing a job there is so bad. It's so bad. I think his political career has to be finished. Because you can't have numbers that he's putting up where certain types of crime are up 250%. And, he's helped along by the mayor in all fairness. But, the mayor, I guess he's going to go on to greener pastures pretty soon.
Are we going to see
But it's a very sad thing that happens.
He's going to go on to greener pastures.
You're going to declassify everything.
Well, I'm declassifying everything, yeah. I'm declassifying. It's sort of amazing the way they don't want to release anything before the election because they don't want to interfere with the election. But with me, it was okay that they that they didn't try, that they spied on my election, tried to overthrow the presidency. And despite that, I've done more in 3.5 years than any other
Captain Thomas says, check out Snapchat. I know, I'm looking at that, up 1.7%. Look at Snapchat Go, team.
to have to be spied on
There's new highs on Snapchat. That's going to be breaking out much more.
by these thieves.
Should do something with Snapchat.
Affect the election because the Republicans play a very much nicer game. Look, we have some warriors, but
Trump says
we
we're
have
looking at a
some
lot
great
of
warriors.
things to regulate social
Jim
media
Jordan and some
companies.
of them. But think of
Trying
it.
to block
They don't
it
want to
on
affect
Biden
the
stories,
election,
it's
so let's
Twitter
wait
and
till
Facebook
after.
like a third
Well,
arm
some of the people that are
of the
running are
Democrat
very much
National Committee.
implicated in the stuff they're looking at. So why should they get a free pass? Because it took too long to do the investigation. If you look at the Horowitz report, like 78 pages on Comey, who was a corrupt person, very corrupt. You look at the worst. I mean, they took J. Edgar Hoover. This guy was just not as smart. J. Edgar Hoover was smart. This one's a dummy. But if you look at Comey and you look at what he did,
Comey's a dummy.
He lied. He leaked. He lied before Congress. He lied before Senator Grassley in Congress. He got everything. And if you look at the Horowitz report, and I have a lot of respect for Horowitz.
All right, he needs to stop this attack mode here.
But I have a lot of respect for him. He did a report in Comey that was so bad that even the New York Times said, wow.
He should be talking about what he's going to do for us. What is he going to do for the stimulus? What is he going to do for the country? What's he going to do for, coronavirus? If he started talking about that, markets would absolutely take off.
Too much of that because I'm reading a lot of other things like
Attack mode's not going to do anything for the markets, not going to do anything for citizens.
You know that better than anybody. Biggest regulation cuts. I had a lot of things to do, but you know what? When you read that Comey report,
Snapchat's still on the climb there. I'm watching SPY. SPY's back down to that 50. Trading between the 10, 20, 50 SMA now into the NTZ.
Why didn't they do something about that?
Well, once we
And even the New York Times says one of the worst things they've ever read. You have to see in all fairness to the New York Times, you got to see what they wrote about it.
Okay.
And then they want to wait till after the election to be nice.
Summit
It's
with
a sad, it's very sad. It's pathetic.
Can we ask you about the tax cuts that you put in place
Yeah.
after the election? If you win, what kind of tax cuts would we get? If you win, if you got a second term.
Okay, well, number one, Biden wants to increase your taxes, including the middle class, and he wants to get rid of the tax cuts that we've given to the middle class. And already you're talking about at minimum $2,000, and that doesn't include the $1,000 child tax credit. And it doesn't include energy, which is $3,000 or $4,000 a family, because if you...
Look at that breakout on Snap. Captain Thomas, are you in Snapchat?
You're going to have brownouts like they have in California all over the country. You won't have gasoline for your car. And, they've got this thing, they'd like to go one car per family and make it all electric, and the whole thing is crazy. The
Trump
whole
says
thing
was
is
not aware.
out of control.
Twitter had blocked
So
his
we're now
campaign
energy
account,
independent.
but
But if you add
says it
energy
will all
to
end
it,
up in a big lawsuit.
Nice job, Captain. What are you up on that trade?
$8,000 per family that they've saved with me. And you see the numbers. I've done more in 3 years in terms of making a lot of money for people, middle-income people, than they've done in 8 years, many times that. And for African American, for Hispanic American, for Asian American, nobody's ever done like we've done. And we've now got, in the world, we've got the fastest growing economy. We've been affected less by the pandemic than any other major country in the world.
Well, what
And, you saw that number came out 2 days ago.
Which middle
And we're growing back faster. We're going back very fast. You're going to see some great numbers, I really predict. I don't know them, just so, I'll make that straight. I don't, but you're going to see some great numbers. I mean, predictions of 25% GDP increase, that was a Fed prediction, think Atlanta. And you're going to see some fantastic numbers. And we have the possibility of having a better year next year than we had last year, which was the best year we ever had.
Well,
So we have a lot of things, but if some guy that has no clue where he is, he's
Can you
lost
tell
it
us,
totally.
Mr. President, can you tell us which taxes you would cut if you get a second term?
Middle income tax. We're talking about income taxes for the middle income people. May bring down the 21% down to 20.
Tweeting now, IDenomics.
SPY's starting to break out again. SPY needs to break that 3450.
A lot of people, we didn't get enough credit for it, frankly, because we don't get enough credit for anything, frankly. We've done a great job in so many things, including COVID or the China virus, because what we've done has been incredible. And you see that pursuit with the vaccines that are coming out.
Neo is still on the run. Look at that breakout on Neo.
We're going to be providing Regeneron all
Unbelievable.
very shortly at no
Earlier.
cost.
At no cost. That's
Yeah, at no
it is
cost.
product
Earlier.
Because it wasn't the people's fault that the plague came in, it was China's fault.
We're gonna
They
get
kept it from coming into China, from spreading in China. And I will say
Trump
this.
says would cut middle class income tax if the election.
Look at that crazy volume coming in. When you see it moving like that, that means there's a lot of volume coming in there.
It would have been even sooner than that. It would have been before the election, and it might still be a little bit. But no, there's a lot of politics. And with that, I'll say this: the FDA has approved things at a rate that nobody thought possible. This would be years before. Look how badly Biden handled. I mean, he was so bad in handling the swine flu, H1N1.
Skyjack's up 98% on Neo. Great job, Skyjack.
Joe, the H comes first before the N.
Spy's starting to break down again.
And it was much less lethal, much less lethal disease. But many people died that shouldn't have. He was so pathetic, and they said he was bad. And then this comes along, and he's trying to tell us what a wonderful job he'd do. He wouldn't have done a wonderful job because he wouldn't have done.
We had that nice little breakout right here on Spy.
He ultimately admitted I was right, but that was months later. So we saved a lot of people. We would have lost 2.2 as projected, 2.2 million.
And then from there, it's just been
Let's say we're 210,000.
tight consolidation.
But we would have lost 2.2 as projected at 2.2 million people.
Okay. Would you get a vaccine for every American by year end, or just essential workers? Who would get it first?
Well, I'd get it to essential workers and older people. I don't believe I'd ever do a mandated vaccine because
We use the
I just don't think I would be in. I just don't think I would do that. Where you have to have it because there are some people feel very strongly about that whole situation. And we're going to have, there's like I have immunity now, and I don't know.
United Healthcare is finally starting to climb, team.
It's sort of interesting. As soon as I beat it, they said no, he's only immune for 4 months. I said, well, I was.
Look at United Healthcare taking off here.
Anybody else? Hey, Stuart, if it was you, they'd say, yeah, he's immune for his lifetime. But with me, they say 4 months. They want to make it look as bad as possible. I will say this, having gone through it, and the
Trump says
president
we're going to
of
be
this
providing
country, I can't
Regeneron
sit in a
at no
basement
cost.
and not see anybody for a year. I just can't do
They're
it.
going to provide Regeneron at no cost.
I was around and I had no choice, and I always said this is risky. I'm out, and it's risky every time you go into a room full of people. You say, I wonder if I caught it. And I was doing well, and then one day I got a reading, a positive reading, and positive in a negative sense, right?
Nike looks good for a swing trade back up to 130 if we hold today.
Didn't feel great.
But right now the markets are still pulling back a little bit, so I wouldn't make any long trades just yet.
ARRY,
One thing when you're
indicating
president, you have no lack of
$26
doctors. I
out
was
for
surrounded. I had
Yankee.
more doctors, more talent around that bed. But I beat it, and I beat it quickly. It went fast. And people are amazed because, I was in Pennsylvania, Florida. We had 41,000 people in Florida. We had a lot of people in Pennsylvania, like 25, 30,000. Last night, I was in Iowa, and it was incredible.
Well, a lot of people are criticizing you.
I feel very good.
A lot of people are criticizing you for these rallies. Huge crowds, thousands of people, pretty close together, not wearing masks. They're calling you a spreader. Not you, but the rallies, a spreader of the virus. How do you react to that?
Well, Joe doesn't have any rallies because nobody shows up to his rallies, so he doesn't have the same problem. But what I do is outside is a big thing. And if you look at those people, they really are wearing masks. I'll tell you, I looked last
Let's
night,
see,
there were
UNH.
many people wearing masks. But then you see CDC comes out with a statement that 85% of the people wearing masks catch it. Did you see that yesterday? They came out. What's that all about?
I like it, Avilio. I definitely do.
Right. I mean, you don't want these
Gotta
restrictions.
open up.
I might add to mine as well.
You accept that.
Probably give it till about noonish. If it's still climbing, I'm going to add to it. Especially if it breaks 325. If it breaks 325, I'm going to double down on my UNH.
You take a look at what's going on.
Spy's just trading sideways right now.
Close up Michigan, how horrible it's been. The only one that was allowed to work in Michigan was her husband. He was allowed to go voting, right? The governor's husband. He was the only one allowed. He was the only guy that could do it. But you take a look at what happened in Michigan. Look at what's going on in these places. Look at New York, what they've done to New York. Everyone's leaving. They're all leaving. These lockdowns and the crime that it's caused. But you look at depression, and you look at alcoholism, you look at drug use, and I said I think I was the first one, it just seemed to make sense. The cure cannot be worse than the problem itself.
I'm a New Yorker now, and you're a New Yorker from way back, and we look outside the window of our studios here in Midtown Manhattan, and the place
6
is
BCF
deserted.
build on
We're not
natural
like
gas.
theater back until June. The restaurants are closed and failing. When do you think New York City might return to the way it used to be? I mean, are we talking many, many years?
Well, a lot of people are leaving New York because Cuomo's
Spy's just in consolidation, team.
taxed everybody through the roof, and people are leaving because economically they can't stay. They can't stay. I mean, all you do in New York is you get taxed and you get investigated. do for years, and then they give it to, and you win in Washington, and you win all over the place. Then they send the papers to New York. It's all politics. It's a disgrace. I'll tell you, New York's a disgrace, and that's a place that I love. But Cuomo's run it into the gutter.
But you do know
And
that
he's done a terrible job. Look, I can rate the governors because ultimately, you know, the governors are the ones that work. We got them the material, we got them the ventilators, which nobody else could have produced. We got them a lot of things, but I could tell you the governors that some governors did a great job and some governors didn't.
You do know that Joe Biden, if he wins the election, is reportedly considering Governor Cuomo to be Attorney General?
Well, that's fine. He let him pick whoever he wants. I mean, you know.
And
He can pick
Elizabeth
whoever he
Warren
wants.
for Treasury Secretary?
You're going to have a group of beauties. Look what she did with the credit union. I mean, look what she did. She destroyed people. So you could just imagine.
Who was Biden going to pick for the Treasury?
Because if he wins,
He didn't say Warren, did he?
He's shot. He's mentally shot. Everybody knows it.
Elizabeth Warren?
He could have nothing to do with it.
That would be a disaster.
Other people who are vicious and smart and radical left.
I didn't hear that.
When I walked in this morning, Mr. President, I saw the
Wow.
Wall Street Journal poll, which puts Joe Biden 11 points nationally ahead of you.
Yeah.
And there's an awful lot of people who are saying, look, they're not so much voting for Joe Biden as voting against you. Because sometimes they don't like the language you use, they don't like your terminology, they don't like your tone. What do you say about that?
Well, the polls were wrong last time, and they're more wrong this time. Oh, these polls are much better than I had last time. Last time I was down in 9 states. I ended up winning all 9 of them. And, you know, it's like he's going to lose this one, that one. I mean, we're up in Florida. We're up in Iowa. I think we're up in a lot of different places to it, a lot of different places that I think we're doing great in Pennsylvania. We're doing great in North Carolina. We're doing really good in Michigan. No, we're doing great. I think we're going to have a big victory.
Spy's starting to break down again.
Let
me look at my spy put, see if I'm going to enter.
2% more Democrats than Republicans. I say, what's that all about? You know, they'll say Trump is 5 down, and then they put in the bottom. I think they have a legal requirement. That's why, because I don't even understand why they put it. But they'll say that they overpolled Democrats by 20-25%. And I say, what's that all about? So if you're 5 down, you're actually 10 up. But look, we won our last election, and this is easier because I've done so much. Nobody's done what we've done still with the tax cuts and with the regulation cuts and rebuilt the military.
All right, I just jumped into SPY October 16th, 344 put. I'm in at $1.89. I got just a couple of contracts in the trade challenge account here.
We'll see. I mean, you know, you can only do what you can do. But there's never been an administration that's done so much so well. And the other administration was a corrupt administration. And you see that with
Just something to watch and something to trade a little bit here.
the same press that we have to go through. He'd be out of office. He would have
I'm looking for a vertical spread for tomorrow in the main account here that you guys are seeing here to look for a paycheck trade.
the media in our country is the enemy of our people. Remember that. It's the enemy of our people.
The New York Post, the latest revelations that are out today, suggest that China provided a great deal of money to the Biden family. I think it's like $3 million. I think that's the number. Does that revelation and that charge, does that change our relationship with China? And does it change China if Joe Biden wins? Do they have something on Joe Biden that they can exploit?
Number one, yes, but more importantly, if China wins, because when he wins, China wins. So if China wins, I'll tell you what, they will own this country. You let Biden win, because that's a big win for China. That's all they want is for Biden to win. All they're focused on is Biden. And you can tell these clowns that are always looking and investigating and everything else. The ballots are a big problem for our country because they can be reproduced a lot easier than breaking into computer sites. The fake ballots that everybody is talking about all over the world. It's so crazy what's going on. I mean, every day, not a day goes by where you don't see large masses of ballots that are missing and fraudulently thrown away and found in garbage cans and dumpsters. I mean, look at what's going on.
When was the last time you talked to Xi Jinping?
When we're launching.
I have not spoken to him in a while because I don't want to speak to him. and yet they're ordering, have a trade deal, and the ink wasn't dry before this thing came in, and I haven't spoken to him a while, not looking to speak to him right now. And, we cut our deficit very substantially with him. We were getting ready to do the big thing, and then this came in. The plague came in from China. They could have stopped it, but the plague came in from China, and it changed things around, including a relationship.
And he's not reached out to you?
I don't want to comment on that, but they want to talk. Look, they made the biggest order of corn in history last week. They made the biggest order of soybean. I just left farm country. They love me. They love me. But the reason they did is because they know, and they think I'm going to win, by the way, just so you understand. But they'll do everything possible.
How do you know
Biden, because if Biden, I'll tell you, look, it's very simple. If Biden wins, China will own the United States. And I turned it all around, and you know that better than anybody. In 2019, if you go back 10 years, everybody projected 2019 the economy of China was going to be bigger than the U.S., except it didn't happen because I got elected, and I turned it the opposite way. We were picking up much more than them. And then I did the no dumping steel, and I did tariffs, and I did everything on them. No, they want Sleepy Joe to win. And if he does, if Sleepy Joe wins, China will own the United States.
Trump says has not
You've got
spoken
a town
to
hall tonight.
China's President
with
Xi in a
NBC.
while.
I'm sure that'll be fair.
Does not want to.
Well, how are you going to handle the likely hostility? And by the way, 100 NBC actors, producers, they're protesting the network's decision to host you at the town hall tonight.
Yeah.
They're going to be hostile. Well, we have
the only thing is it's a different audience. The people of your audience, they like me.
I know, but will you have the same tone when you're faced with hostility? Will you have the same tone, the aggressive tone that you had in the first debate?
Well, you don't change. I think I won the first debate. According to most people, I won it. But then what happens is, you have to understand, I was debating him, he's easy, and Chris Wallace. And every time I said something, like I said, well, why did the mayor of Moscow's wife give you $3.5 million? Chris Wallace didn't like the question. I said, why did you pay, or just, with America money, why did you say you're not giving $1 billion unless they get rid of the prosecutor from your son and your son's company? Chris Wallace wouldn't let him answer the question. He was joking. He couldn't have answered those questions. Chris Wallace protected him. So I lost a lot of respect for Chris Wallace. But I loved his father, and his father liked me.
In defense of Chris Wallace, my colleague, I would say that you didn't make his job any easier. You did interrupt a lot.
I did, because what Biden was saying was all false stuff. He was saying I said something on the graves of soldiers. Nobody respects the fallen soldier or the living soldier more than me. They made it up. It was an anonymous source. I had 25 people refute it. It didn't make any difference. And that's when I said that gloves have to come off anyway. So he was going through all these phony stories, just phony little... And I interrupted, because if you don't interrupt, people are going to believe it. So, it's just the way it is. Hey, look, I've had many people said I won it, but some people said I was rude, but you have to be rude. The guy's a liar. He's a liar, and he's a corrupt politician. Joe Biden is a totally corrupt politician. All you have to do is look at the Sun's server. I can't believe they found his laptop. It's incredible. But you don't even need that. You didn't need that. They would never question him on the $3.5 million from Moscow. Why did the kid get $3.5 million from Moscow? And then Russia gets Crimea, okay? That was during Obama. That wasn't during me. They get Crimea.
Do you think Hunter Biden will be brought up at the ABC town hall tonight with Joe Biden?
It's going to be very interesting to see, because I watched NBC, the way they handled Biden the other day. It was disgraceful. Lester Holt, it was like a child. They were the questions for a child. It was a disgrace, and they got killed for it. And they should, by the way, they should give me the same kind of questions. It won't happen, but you know what? They'll get badly mangled if they do anything else. But I felt, they asked me to do it. It's something I do, and it's a different audience. And that's good for me to have a different audience. Look, we produced the greatest stock market in history. We're going to produce it again. Okay? I mean, to think that we're over 28,000 and we're rounding the turn, and we are rounding the turn. you're going to be at new highs very soon, in my opinion. And you're going to have an unbelievable third quarter and an unbelievable next year, except if he gets in and raises everybody's taxes by 4 times. They're talking about quadrupling taxes. That will kill it. And all these companies are going to leave. We took in tremendous numbers of companies came into the U.S. because our taxes were prohibitive. Just like New York, they're prohibitive. Cuomo raised the taxes too much. People are
Zoom
leaving.
pulled back quite a bit there.
Mr. President, is that you can't, if Joe Biden wins, he can't raise taxes unless he's got a Democrat Senate. And the argument
I'm assuming that if he wins, that could happen. By the way, he could get a Senate.
Yeah, but
He could get a
if
Senate.
he wins, he might also start spending big time quickly as opposed to raising taxes later. And that would mean a real impetus for the economy, real stimulus for the economy. And so a lot of
That's
people
not what he
also
said.
think that might be okay.
Look, it doesn't matter what he said. He also said there's no more fracking. And the day after he won the nomination, he goes to Pennsylvania, says, I'll frack. That's another thing they never bring up. So you got 20 tapes of him saying there will not be fracking. It's called read my lips, right? That's happened before. There will not be fracking, right? And then he wins and he says there'll be
Coming up
fracking.
at
He goes to
10:30,
Pennsylvania.
food
The people of Pennsylvania are too smart. They don't believe him. And he doesn't. He's shot. He's mentally shot. So what happens is he's not calling the shots.
1.607 million expected.
There's a lot of people, Mr. President, who don't like it when you say that kind of thing. He's
But I have to
Coming
tell
up
the truth.
in-
We can't have a president.
Mr. President, there's a lot of people who don't like when you say he's mentally shot.
He never was. But we can't have that because we have a country and we're trying to save our country. And we have a radical left that has a total
Spies breaking down again off that 20.
trying to save our country. So I can do it much nicer. I'm a smart guy. But you got to make the point. And everybody knows it. And we can't be in a position where we have that. We don't have that luxury. He goes to his basement. He'll sit in his basement for 2 days. And he'll come up. And then he'll say a couple of words and read a book. I mean, I've never seen anything because I've dealt with reporters a long time. But they give him the questions and he reads the answer off a computer to a reporter who I always assumed was, even if they're not on my side, they were legit. He's getting questions to it, and he's reading them off the computer, the answers from a reporter. And you've seen it.
Do you expect to get a
Most of the time. I've never seen anything like it.
Do you expect to get an election result on November the 3rd?
Well, it should be. We've won a lot of cases. A lot of the cases that we've won have been they have to give you the result. We had some where you had to put in your votes a week later, and then you get the results 2 weeks later. That means you can never. It'll be weeks before you find out after November 3rd. No, we've won a lot of cases where the November 3rd is becoming a very important date.
Okay. Under what circumstances would you concede the election?
All I want is a fair election.
So it's your judgment as to whether it's fair or not, as to whether you concede.
Stuart, they always talk about the friendly transition. They spied on my campaign and they got caught. They tried to overthrow the President of the United States and they got caught. And then they stand up so innocent and they say, will you, do a fair transition? Well, they didn't do a fair transition. They spied on my campaign long before I won because they thought I was going to win.
Well, you're implying that if you don't think it's fair, you won't leave the White House, which means you won't concede.
I'm not saying anything. I'm saying this. I think everybody says it. You have to have a fair election. Look at these ballots that are being messed around. Tens of thousands of ballots are already fraudulent.
Markets continuing to drop lower here.
All I'm asking for is a fair election. And that's it. But when they talk about a friendly transition, they spied on my campaign and they tried to terminate with crooks and thieves. Like, you take a look at a guy like Director Comey. He was a very dishonest person.
If it
What you
wasn't
have to do is read the Horowitz report. He was a very dishonest person.
if it wasn't a friendly transition when you walked into the White House, Does that mean that you're not going to allow a friendly transition if Joe Biden walks into the White House?
No, it doesn't mean anything, except it means that people broke the law, people spied on my campaign, and they act so innocent, like it never happened. Oh, gee, we didn't do that. But then they did it, and we have all...
We need to see SPY break below 344 for that next big move lower. Take out the lows of the day.
Shouldn't interfere with the election. But nobody minded when they interfered with my election, that I won, but nobody minded then. So it's a very interesting period of time. I think we're doing really well. We're doing well in states that I'm not even sure people know it. You know, I think we're doing really very well.
Mr. President,
And it's going to be an interesting
as you know,
20 days.
This is a financial program, as you know. So may I wrap it up on a financial note?
Sure.
You came into this interview saying, yes, you're prepared to go higher than $1.8 trillion.
Correct.
You don't expect a phone call from Speaker Pelosi, but you would go higher. How much
Yeah, I
higher
would.
would you go?
And the Republicans will too. Because we like stimulus, we want stimulus, and we think we should have stimulus because it was China's fault. It was not the American workers' fault or the American people.
So why not just go with Speaker Pelosi's $2.2 trillion deal?
Because she's asking for all sorts of goodies. She wants to bail out badly run Democrat states and cities. She wants money for things that you would never, you just couldn't, just your pride couldn't have let it happen.
So what
It
would
should
you
be
spend
COVID
extra
related.
money on? If you want to up your offer up above $1.8 trillion, what would that extra money go to?
It would go to the worker. It would go to the people, directly to the people, so they can live nicely and their lives won't be shattered because of China.
Okay. Have you told Secretary Mnuchin to get out there and offer more than $1.8 trillion?
I've told him so far he hasn't come home with the bacon.
Okay. Mr. President, I know you've got to get on Air Force One and go to Florida shortly.
I do.
We do appreciate you being with us, sir, always, and thank you very much for doing it. Thank you, sir.
I think you have a great show, Stuart. I really do. I like your show a lot. I like you a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Mr. President. See you again
Bye.
soon. Thank you. All right. That concludes it. I think the main point there was about the stimulus, and the market is still down about 200, 250 points. The market didn't move.
There we go. Market's starting to climb after he's off now.
The president did say he's prepared to go above 1.8 trillion. He is prepared to go big. He's told his Treasury Secretary, go big, go above 1.8 trillion. But as the president said, so far, Secretary Mnuchin has not
Trump
brought
says
home
the
the bacon.
$2.2 trillion house
Susan Lee sitting next to me.
He has not brought home the bacon.
Chance of getting a COVID stimulus package before the election. That was also noteworthy as well. And when it comes to China, he says he hasn't spoken to Chinese President Xi Jinping for a while, and he doesn't want to. That also made headlines. And then in terms of income taxes, he wants a cut of the middle income taxes for Americans if he's reelected. And also, from what I understand, he wants to bring down the business tax from 21% down to 20%. That's something that they're thinking about as well. So I think that kind of had a bit of an impact in terms of how markets are pricing in some of these comments.
I was intrigued when I asked him, well, has Xi Jinping called you?
Right.
He wouldn't say. I don't want to discuss that. I'm not sure why that is so, but he didn't want to discuss that.
And I like how you pressed him in terms of the dollar amount for the stimulus package, and being quoted here on the wires that Trump says we like stimulus, we want stimulus, we think we should have stimulus.
But he did say that.
Yes.
I'm glad that quote goes correctly. All right. Charles Payne is with us. Charles, you were watching this interview. What's your takeaway?
Yeah, I think the biggest news really is on the stimulus front, and I'm glad you got that in as to really to at the end there, because this is really what we're looking at.
I think we're going to continue to head lower today.
On it right now, because I do believe Wall Street believes a deal will happen. It's just a matter of when. But I do believe there's certain segments of Main Street that needs it to happen today. Obviously, if it happened today, markets would also positively react. There's no doubt about that. Just the fact that President Trump has come up so much, $1.8 trillion, he's willing to go higher. And it's not about the dollar amount, it seems. It seems it's about what you're going to use it for. No, we shouldn't be bailing out blue state pension funds. We shouldn't be funding blue state red carpet programs to welcome anyone into their state, on social assistance programs. Yes, we can go higher, but let's be smart about it. There are things that obviously everyone knows
Let's put back on CNBC.
Pull blue states out of the hole.
Meg, thank you. Meg Terrell. Before we head to break, take a look at the banks. Morgan Stanley reported this morning, and of course we talk about it as
Morgan Stanley's in the green.
asset manager as anything else, though we still lump it in as an
JP Morgan.
It did report numbers. It's up. JP Morgan Chase up. Some signs of life and an otherwise distressed, at least from the stock market's opinion, banking sector. We're back right after this.
Look at all that ready, friend.
To help you find opportunities, 24/7 support when you need answers, plus some of the lowest options and futures contract prices around. Don't get mad. Get E-Trade and start trading today.
Banks and real estate are leading the market today,
Expensive and stressful.
and some of healthcare.
Better home selling experience with a network of the most successful real estate agents in America that'll sell your home for as little as a 2% commission.
The icing on the cake with the ideal agent was that
Software applications are getting absolutely slammed.
The whole process was amazing, and I would definitely recommend them.
We are not a discount brokerage. These are top local agents that'll get you the best results.
PTON, Harvard Technological November report, Peloton has
Can't get into the stands. We catch every kick. Hot
bike
and
pedals
shot.
report of injuries.
Peloton. Guys, there's a recall on Peloton bike pedals as they reported injuries. Peloton's probably going to drop big on that news. There goes Peloton shares dropping. SPY's still dropping here as well. We're back in the green on our SPY puts.
Spike in volume. Jaffe Labs, HGLI, spike in volume now.
There goes SPY breaking lower again. Big breakdown on SPY.
Via a reverse merger with, of course, a special purpose acquisition corporation, insurance acquisition corporation is the name of this one. Joining us now is Shift's co-CEO and co-founder, George Harrison. And George, always start these off by asking, why a SPAC? Why not just go traditional IPO?
See what Peloton's doing here. Excuse me. SPY puts at 201 right now as SPY continues to drop lower. SPY puts at 202.
Weekly G filing out on HGLI, Jaffe.
And remember, lunch break we usually pull back a little bit as well, so I'm expecting that too here, starting soon.
Every asset management report is 6.2%
Well, timing is also seemingly in your favor, at least when it comes to the used car market.
Thank you, Ephraim.
ARTL, Artello Biosciences, 13 e-filing out on ARTL, Alfa Romeo Tango Lima, Empress reporting a stake of 6.67% ARTL.
What happened to Snapchat? Snapchat had that big run up to 28. Look at that pullback it had.
Italy reporting 8,800 for new coronavirus cases.
Excuse me.
Versus 7,332 on Wednesday.
Italy announced a big increase in COVID cases. Alrighty, YouTube, I'm going to end this stream for YouTube now. If you guys want to come join us on YouTube, you guys could go to breakingchartalerts.com, get signed up, and you could go to Join Now membership plans and come join us. All you have to do is once you join us, click on Live Trade Room, and make sure you register for the classes here. It's free once you're a member. Register for the class. If you guys want to check out yesterday's class, go to the education section and click on classes. And if you want to look at the lessons, click on lessons, view those. And then, of course, if you want to view our trade challenge account, if you want to see our live trades, go to Trade Alerts right here. And this is going to show you all of the trades that we've made. You click on it, and it's going to give you the description of everything there. So come join us, guys, and I will see you guys in the trade room. Just click on live trading, go to the trade room, and then if you're a pro member or elite member, you click on the live Zoom meeting here for the afternoon trade session, and we'll see you there. Take care, YouTube, and have a great day. God bless.